what we have seen is that the cause, material and efficient of the whole universe, otherwise known as Ishvara, or in common language as God, and I are one and the same. When you say this, to understand I am consciousness is easy, but to say that this consciousness is the same consciousness behind this whole cosmos, behind this whole universe or multiverse, that takes some understanding. It depends on how we look upon the world. What is our understanding, our perception of the world? Most of us take the world as very, very real. It is existentially real. That means the whole world is real and I am a small created entity in this whole universe. Therefore, even though one logically appreciates that one is a consciousness which is nothing but Ishvara, that understanding is always doubted, questioned, not felt as true. For that to happen, one needs to examine the reality of the world. We have three ontological terms to deal with the reality of the world. One, we say it is real. My head, real. My body, real. The clothes that I wear, real. Then we have another term, not real, not existent, like the horn on my head. Nobody is seeing a horn on my head. It's not real, it's not there, it is not existent. So real, not real, and we have another term called false. The mirage water is false. Something that is only imagined is false. So we have real, non-existent, existent which is real, non-existent which is unreal, and in between things which are false. So if you are looking at what is the difference between a real object that you are seeing, like me, the body, something real that you are seeing, and something false like the mirage water or the rope on the snake. Here, when you are imagining, projecting a rope on the snake, what do you see as the difference between the two? Well, for the simple reason, it's easy to say, an object that is real will remain real on closer examination. My head, my body is the same even when you examine it. The clothes that I wear, real, even on closer examination. Whereas the mirage water or the snake I saw on the rope is negatable. When you go close, when you examine it, it is negated. It's no more there. It's an appearance of something else. It's the sand that appeared as a water. Whatever reasons are there for it. It is the rope that appeared as a snake. Which brings us to a very interesting point. Therefore, let me define reality, truth, as that which cannot be negated. Abhaditam satyam. It's a Sanskrit word, which means that which cannot be negated is that which is real. Now, it does not affect unreal. Unreal continues to be unreal. It does not affect what is false. False continues to be false. But you will have a problem with this cloth that you took as real. Why? Because the dress that I am wearing, in India we call this a kurta. This would be called a kurta. There was a time when they used to call it a guru shirt in the late 60s. and the flower children made this, introduced this to the West, they would say all Indian gurus wear it. Therefore, it used to be called a guru shirt. Now, when you examine this, this is a kurta or a guru shirt. And I'll tell you, where is it? Where is a kurta? It is nothing but cloth. Which is true. This is nothing but cloth, fabric. Where has the kurta gone? Now, kurta is there, but in my perception, in my understanding of the material is real because that cannot be negated, but the kurta is negatable. I only have to shift my attention. I don't really have to sit down and open up all the stitches to see that there is no kurta. I just have to, in my understanding, shift focus to the content, to the material, and now I find there is nothing but cloth, fabric. There is no kurta. So now you have a funny situation. What will you call the kurta? Because what you called as real has now shifted to the cloth. Examine it further. What is the cloth made up of? Threads. The threads are more real than the cloth. That's why when youngsters go shopping, they will say, I'm going to buy some threads. It's true. Threads are the reality. If you go further, then you will find it's not threads, it's fibers, cotton fibers. Go further, you will find it's nothing but hydrocarbons. Go further, atoms, atomic particles. Where does it all end? Well, if you give me a form like kurta, it will be resolved into something more deeper called cloth. But cloth is also a form, therefore it is resolvable into fibers, threads. Threads are resolvable into fibers. Fibers into hydrocarbons, into atoms, into particles, and so on. So what should be the final material? Well, it should be something existing, because I am wearing a kurta. I am not wearing nothing. I am wearing a kurta. So it should be existing, but formless. This formless existence is what in Vedanta is known as Satyam, the absolutely real. Now, formless means boundaryless. There is no limits. An amoeba is not formless, it's shapeless. It is not formless because there is a boundary to it. So, boundaryless existence is what we are calling real Satyam. Now, you take anything in this universe, everything will be resolved into formless existence, because we are living in an existing universe, not in a non-existing universe. Then what word do you have to deal with the world which is real experientially, not false like the mirage or the rope snake, not non-existence like a horn on my head, but like my head which is functionally valid, at the same time not absolutely real. In Sanskrit we have a term for this, we call it mithya. The term mithya means it is neither absolutely real, Satyam, nor totally unreal. In Sanskrit the word for that would be tucham, totally unreal. So it is neither totally real nor totally unreal, it has an in-between existence. It is a manifestation. The whole universe is nothing but the absolute existence, Satyam, appearing with names and forms. Look at it. The kurta is nothing but a name and form of fabric. Fabric can exist in any form. One form will be a kurta. Threads can exist in many forms. One form would be fabric. So particles can exist in one form. when they come together to form an atom, and then come together to form a molecule of hydrocarbons. Existence also manifests in names and forms. So this whole universe that we are talking about is nothing but a manifestation of such existence. If it is only a manifestation, it does not have an absolute reality. That absolute reality belongs to Satyam. And that Satyam existence is nothing but consciousness. Because as we have seen earlier, consciousness also is not bound by time and space. Existence is not so, because it's limitless, cannot be bound by time and space. We cannot have two things, two limitless entities. Therefore, Satyam is nothing but consciousness. Consciousness is nothing but absolute existence. And the whole universe is a manifestation of this consciousness. A lot of experiments in quantum physics, etc., makes it very intelligent, makes it very interesting, because you find intelligence being manifest in so-called inanimate objects as well. But that would be another topic for another day. So this understanding of Satyam Mithya makes it very, very necessary to understand that I consciousness is the same consciousness behind Ishvara, behind God, and that I consciousness am the reality behind this whole universe. Only with this understanding, Vedanta becomes complete. Thank you. Om Tat Sat.